Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday afternoon, so it's time for the first of our weekly slots of Meet the Maker here on Shop Handmade. I'm Sharon from Nails, Knots and Notions, and here with me today is Holly from I Want It Personalised. So hi Holly, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad actually. I don't know what the weather's like by you, but it stays dry enough that my washing is going to dry if it doesn't get blown off the line.
Yeah, it keeps clouding over here, like trying to rain, but it hasn't actually rained yet, so
uh, hopefully it stays nice.
so.
Anyway, to get things kicked off for our listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Holly, obviously. I'm 28. I live in Basingstoke in Hampshire, which is sort of near London, for those that don't know. I live here with my two young children who are 3 and 2, and my partner. That's my to-do list to say that I'm due to do this. And my partner, Phil, who works for a pharmaceutical company. I was born in Basingstoke. I lived here most of my life, but I have moved around a lot. 14 times actually, to be exact.
Wow.
Because I counted it up earlier. But yeah, and obviously I have my own business. I Want It Personalised. Before I done anything sort of business related, before I had my children, I always worked in care as a healthcare assistant. And I did start my nurse training, but I didn't complete it because it just wasn't for me anymore at the time. So yeah, that's me.
Wow, so Basingstoke, you're not actually that far from me then. I'm in Swindon, so reasonably close.
Yeah,
so it's about, I think it's about an hour, isn't it, depending on the traffic.
Yeah, well, my other half is actually working in Swindon today and all this week.
Wow. So he's like, oh, the joys of the M4. Yeah. So for those of you that are watching us live, hi Vicki. Don't forget to pop on and leave a comment so we know you're with us. Also, don't forget to hit the button. I can never remember which side it is to give StreamYard permission to share your name. Otherwise, Facebook won't let us see your comments. So, a 3 and a 2-year-old, I bet they keep you busy then.
Yes, they do. My 2-year-old is staying with my mum this week. So it's a lot calmer because my 3-year-old son is quite happy to sit just over there and watch Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
And, you know, we do stuff and he's a bit more understanding than my 2-year-old who likes to have tantrums and get her own way.
So kind of getting hit with the terrible twos then.
Big time. And
Big
I mean,
time.
my son, he is a bit of a three-nager at times as well, but he's nowhere near as bad as my daughter. But it's okay. We survive.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have to really, don't you?
Well, yeah.
So what 3 random things can you share that people probably wouldn't know about you?
Well, one of my random things would probably be about moving house a lot of times. So 14 times. I've gone from Basingstoke down to Bournemouth, back up to Basingstoke, around Basingstoke a few times, down to Cornwall, up to Essex, a few different places in Essex, then up to Suffolk, Ipswich, Suffolk area, and then up to Boston in Lincolnshire, and then back to Basingstoke.
So sort of Cornwall up to Boston, Lincolnshire, that's quite a big range across the country then.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a few zigzags and things, but you know, that's
Vicky's just saying her daughter was okay at 2, but a devil at 3.
I really hope that my daughter's okay by 3. because yeah, she is a handful.
Yeah.
But another thing, bit random. Obviously, that's the question anyway.
Absolutely.
I had blood clots in my lungs, both my lungs and my heart, after having my son by emergency C-section, and the hospital where I gave birth missed it on the chest scan that they done, and I then visited Basingstoke with my son, and we were driving home when I couldn't breathe and he had to rush me to the hospital in Basingstoke. So I stayed just over 2 weeks in Basingstoke Hospital, recovering from blood clots, with a 3-week-old baby.
Wow. I mean, just that length of stay in hospital these days shows just how serious it could have been. So thank goodness you were okay and they got you sorted.
Well, yeah, I remember my partner literally came off the M3 and said, do I call an ambulance or do I take you? And because it hurt so much to breathe at all.
Yeah.
And because I knew I couldn't breathe properly, I was then panicking as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, sort of, as much as I could, said, just go.
Yeah.
But obviously he was panicking a bit as well at the time. And yeah, then obviously got to hospital, and I think, well, obviously I went straight in, and my oxygen level was still 100%, which is really bizarre because my lungs weren't functioning.
Something was going on there.
When they done the blood test, the oxygen level in my actual blood was at a dangerously low level. So that's why they do the blood test as a backup, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, but scary times.
It was scary, but I survived, obviously, and sort of obviously had to deal with it. And then we moved house a couple of weeks later once I came out of hospital. So yeah, and then I had obviously follow-up appointments and things. But yeah, that's obviously 3 years ago now. So, and I haven't, touch wood, had any after effects from it either. Like some people can have the effects for life, basically, like breathlessness when walking and pain and things, but luckily I'm sort of all clear of all of it. So
that's really good news. Somebody else, a couple more people have popped on to watch us, so do let us know in the comments what you think, if there's any questions you want for Holly, and just to let us know you're here. So can you come up with a third random thing? I mean, that one was pretty big.
I mean, there's lots of random things about me because I am pretty random, but another thing would be I volunteered at the London Olympics, which was pretty cool. So I was at the Excel Exhibition Centre, and I got to watch quite a few of the events, like fencing and boxing. I met Nicola Adams, who was our gold medalist, and for boxing, and she wanted me to look after her medal and her flowers while she had to go do the drug testing, which they all have to do, obviously, to check they're not cheating. So I actually had the gold medal and the flowers.
Wow. Is it heavy?
It was pretty heavy, yeah. And then when she came out again, I was like, do you mind if we have a photo together? And she was like, yeah, that's fine, honestly. And so I had a photo of her, and then she let me keep her flowers. Yeah. So I dried them and I kept them for so long, but sort of in one of our moves, I decided it was time to let them go.
Oh,
they were just sort of some dried up manky flowers, but obviously the memory's still there in my head and photos.
And you do, the memories stay up here, don't they? Because she is a West Country girl, isn't she, Nicola Adams? She's sort of, I want to say Bath, Bristol area. But that's probably completely wrong. could be completely wrong.
Who knows?
So, yeah. So how did you first come to start your business?
Well, obviously having two small children, it felt impossible to get back into work and make it viable because childcare is expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously times that by 2 as well. So I needed something to do, and I started off with some sort of MLM businesses, but they really weren't for me. I hated the fact that they weren't my thing. I wasn't making up the rules. I had to follow bits and pieces and be careful what I said and didn't say and things, and I didn't like that. So I was like, I've always been a creative person. Why don't I try and do something around that? So initially I set it up as I made a mental health passport to help people with mental health issues, because I have my own mental health history, to help people with their appointments and crisis situations. So it's just like a little template booklet, and the person fills it in with their details, like their past and present needs and things, what's worked, what doesn't, a crisis plan, a safety plan. And like that's how I sort of got my foot in it, doing my own thing. And then I was like, I really, really would like to expand on something. And that's when I decided to start doing vinyl cutting. And I got the machine and sort of obviously done a few test things here and there. And that grew a lot. And then my dad invested money into my business idea, and I was able to buy loads of sublimation equipment. So I was then able to do cushions and mugs and t-shirts and everything. And that was August last year that he done that. And since then I have grown so much, and obviously I've done so many trainings and things, and I've just like gone from there really, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, just to pick up on a couple of things there. One that I want to know a bit more about because I'm nosy, but also for some of our listeners. Holly mentioned MLM, that is multi-level marketing companies. So if you think back to your old Tupperware parties, that kind of model, that is what MLM is. And there is like hundreds of them around these days, doing, you know, things from juices to drinks to oils to face cream to things that require batteries. There's just so many out there, and some people do really, really well on them, but it, like Holly said, it's not for everyone. And the other thing also, if you don't mind going in a bit deeper for us, is a lot of crafters I meet find that, or mention that they have sort of mental health problems themselves, and actually find that their crafting really helps them. Do you think that's true for you?
Yeah, I do. When I sort of, before I was a business at all, things that require batteries. Yeah, before I was a business or anything, and before I had my children, I would definitely use sort of craft things, colouring or making things as a sort of coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
And a distraction. And I think also a lot of people with sort of mental health issues or things, their creativity comes so much deeper, and it can really inspire their work that they do. And it's also a really good release, because obviously if you're sort of expressing how you're feeling through your artwork, no matter what it is really, you know, that's getting it out there, it's getting it out your system and helping you sort of move on from whatever it is.
There's just so many layers to it, isn't there? It's about expressing and getting those thoughts out, but it's also things like I find I can lose time myself, so I can just sit there, and if I'm concentrating on something, it's almost like meditation. But also you know, if you've had a really crap day, having something you can say, look, I made this. So talking
definitely.
of look, I made this, let's have a peek at some of your products that you've made and tell us a bit about them.
Yeah. So I mentioned about I started off with sort of vinyl cutting only, and from that I made like these sort of key rings. So I would cut out the name and the star, and then on the reverse I done this. So this was obviously for last year.
Yeah.
And then similar again on this key ring. So that's all vinyl sticker, and although it is technically a sticker, it's a lot harder to peel off than just sort of your average sticker sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to. And then when I went into sort of more sublimation things, that's a lot more interesting because you can do more images. So I done this for Christmas.
Oh, that's cute.
So the actual disc there is what has been printed. And then I also done these onto acrylic discs. So, and yeah, I really enjoyed doing those actually. And these are just acrylic as well, so they're not even technically sublimation items. I bought them initially for vinyl.
Yeah.
But because they're a certain type of acrylic, you can also sublimate onto them. And then sort of more with the sublimation, that's my mug on a mug. And I always do them double-sided or do a full image all the way round. And then one of my favourite things to do is photo slates. So
yeah,
these are my two children.
they're a bit unusual.
And because they're real slate, you know, with a
Yeah.
coating on one side, and each slate obviously has its own individual edging because it's been cut. And obviously it has the person's photo on, or you can have wording or a logo or graphics or anything like that. And then they also come with a little stand as well. So I always have this by my TV, and it just stands there like that. And obviously you could have it that way as well. And there's so many different sizes of those as well. But I mean, I also do like clothing and cushions and things as well. But I don't have any to show because I literally, a lot of the things that I've made up have already been posted out. So they've already gone to the customer. But there's just a few little examples of what I can do. So yeah.
Well, Vicky's showing some love for your products, particularly the slate. She says she loves that. We have got a couple of other people watching us. So also, can you explain in layman's terms what sublimation is? It's a term that I hear bandied around, but to me it's like, well, it's more than just sticking something on it because it doesn't come off.
Right, so the technical way of explaining it, okay, so I have a design, any design, photo, picture, wording, anything, and I have it on my software on my computer. I then print it out, and it uses sublimation ink, so it has to be a specific ink. You can't just do it with anything. And also a special paper, sublimation paper, which allows the release of the ink. So you print off your image, and then you place your product, or you place the paper on your product, however you want it printed. So if it was this, I would have printed out our beautiful faces in a mirror image.
Yeah.
I would have then placed it on top, and I would put that in my heat press, which is basically there's a lower plate, an upper plate with a big handle that literally closes the plates together. The top one gets very hot. Normally things are pressed around 180 degrees Celsius.
Ouch.
So yeah, you don't want to touch that one.
Don't want to touch that one.
And so yeah, so that would be in there with the paper. You'd press it down, and all your sort of suppliers of the sort of sublimation blanks give you time guidance and temperature guidance. So for example, this would be like 180 degrees for 320 seconds, and you program it in the machine, it just in the heat press. So that would heat it up there for the amount of time that you set. And the way it works is the ink is released from the paper and it's physically transferred into the sublimation coating on the product. And so therefore you cannot remove this. It is embedded into the sublimation coating. And even if you sort of, I could wash it, scrub it, everything, and it just would not come off at all. Mugs and things, they're completely microwave and dishwasher safe because it's embedded into the material. Whereas vinyl stuff, if I'd done vinyl on like a cup or something, for example, that would be hand wash only, because it's essentially like a plasticky sticker. And like I said, if you really tried, you could take it off. I
had a mug that was actually a vinyl mug. I didn't know the difference at the time. Put it in the dishwasher at work, and my unicorn fell off.
Yeah, they don't withstand heat and things very well. But I mean, they're good for things like key rings. My son's water bottle for nursery, I put vinyl on that. And Vicki, do you have to have special mugs? Yes, you do. The mugs have to be sublimation mugs, so they have a special, like, they're made out of a special coating. But the look and the feel of them is like any other mug. Clothing and materials have to have at least a 60% polyester content, because your ink will only stick to polyester. But obviously, if it's 100% polyester, it will be like perfect. The less polyester content, the sort of more faded it will look. So there's more to it than you sort of think. You're like, oh yeah, I'll just do a t-shirt, but it can't just be any t-shirt. And another thing is, you can't print white, which is why most sublimation items are white, because there's no white ink. So if you had a black t-shirt, you couldn't print sublimation onto that. But what you can do is get vinyl that's iron on that you can print your own image on. So that's how you'd get around that. But yeah, and light colours like light pink and yellow, you can sublimate on those if they're polyester. But obviously, because the background colour would be yellow or pink or whatever, it would change the colour of your image slightly.
Wow, there is, I mean, I just thought you got a plain white mug and stuck something on and heated it up. So it's much, much more sort of in depth than you think. Just to say hi to Jackie, who's joining us again. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, Jackie, so thanks for joining us. Don't forget to pop us a message if you'd like to come along and be one of our Meet the Makers. So going back to all of your crafty things, what was your first project that you can remember?
My first main project was actually my nan's funeral flowers, and I made them out of card and rolled each individual flower and done obviously it was for my mum, so it was her mum, and I done a mum display out of paper flowers or card flowers they were.
Yeah.
Which obviously took a very long time, but I done all of those, and so that was my first sort of big project. And other than sort of playing around with vinyl at the very beginning of it all, I would say.
Right. So that was a really, really sort of heartfelt and meaningful project, and lots of love must have gone into that one. Wow, that's incredible. And do you think that's the project you're most proud of, or do you think you've got others?
I think that's probably one of my proudest projects, purely because of the reason behind it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've done other things that I've actually sort of stopped and thought, oh, I'm pretty impressed with myself with that. Like, I don't necessarily obviously like brag about it, but I will just say it to myself, like, oh yeah, I really like that. But definitely that first one, my nan's funeral flowers arrangement, is definitely one of my main ones that sticks in my mind, obviously.
Because do you actually create all the designs yourself, or is it a mixture of stock images and photographs? I guess everyone could be different. Every item could be pretty unique.
I can, obviously, if someone's having their own photograph, it's their photograph. That's just what it is. But also I buy designs that other people created, and they sell it with like a commercial license. And some things I make up myself. Not as many things because I don't have time. But yeah, there is a real mixture of it all. Or someone will give me an idea of what they'd like for something, and I'll go and sort of either do my own bits on it and add a few sort of bought elements to it and create something that's personal to that person. Which I do a lot of, actually, more than anything. So they'll give me ideas of what they're in, like what they're after, and I'll go away, do a few designs, and they say if they like things, don't like things, and then I'll edit it and go back and sort of do it, go back and forth basically until they're happy with my design, and then head and print it or make it, depending what it is.
So Jack is another one that didn't realise that you had to have special materials for sublimation. Yeah, we learn something new every day. Yeah, because I guess one of the things that you have to be aware of, that people think with so much available that, oh, I've just downloaded it from Google. People think, oh, well, it's fine, I can go and have that made into something and it's not a problem. And it is.
Yeah. Sorry, my son wants his t-shirt back on.
Oh, that's all right.
3-year-old life. Vicky's asked if the slates come with stands, and yes, they do. They come with 2 little sort of black feet, they look like. And so you can stand it portrait or landscape, and they all come with that. And I also do glass ones as well, which come with little stands as well. So you don't just have a random thing that you can't do anything with.
Yeah. And do you do them with sort of like things on the back to hang on the wall, or do you just do the sort of freestanding ones at the moment?
Slates and glass I do them with the stands that come with them. Yeah. But I also do a sort of metal plaque, which you can literally cover the whole thing in any image or anything. And I've done some birthday ones recently, and I specifically bought sort of stick-on things that go on the back with a sort of picture hook thing, so you can hang it straight on the wall. Because they wouldn't look right being hung like as a stand-up thing. They're more wall plaques. So and with the good quality photos, obviously my print depends on the quality of the photos, and I can edit them to a certain degree. Obvious sort of graininess and things like that I can sort out, but it does still depend on the quality of the original photo that I get. But I always obviously do my best to make it look as good as possible, and I always check with the person before I print it that that's how it's going to look. Is that okay?
So if we find photos that we've got a random piece of hair sticking up out the way, you can sort of airbrush that out
Yeah,
a bit.
I can edit those things. Yeah, so I can take little requests like that, or yeah, just I always try and work as much as I can with the person to get it exactly how they want it. So
okay, so here's a fun one. This is one of my favorite questions. So, money no object. You've won the lottery, your premium bonds have come in, whatever's your thing. Money's no object. What would be top of your crafty wish list?
yeah, there's so many things, but I always I could think really big and be like, the top of my wish list would actually be my own craft room. Like my own space, because at the moment I actually do it in my dining room. We don't have a dining room, it's my office. But that also leads into the kitchen. It's not like a separate room. And but in terms of like materials, I always want more vinyl. I love the stuff, and glitter and sparkly, bright everything. I would love to have every single shade of vinyl in matte and gloss and metallic, and just have it all like on a wall in rainbow colours sort of thing. That would literally be my dream.
Oh no, that sounds amazing. And you can never have too much glitter and gloss and sparkle.
Exactly. I love glitter. It's my life.
So that kind of actually answers one of my other questions about where you do your crafting. So you're lucky that you have got, like you said, you haven't got a dining room anymore. You've just sort of taken it over, because I guess some of your bits of kit are quite big. I mean, you've got a computer, and then if you've got these various machines that do things.
My heat press, I mean, I could show you if you wanted me to.
Go on then.
It's just there. Sorry. Let's go for a walk, everyone.
Oh, Vicky's got, you know, those mahoosive craft cupboard that opens up and has got a table. Yeah. She's got one of those. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Obviously, in pure crafty fashion, excuse the mess. This is my heat press, which currently has stuff on it, and it's not obviously on. And then
I expected something bigger, although it does look like it's quite heavy.
I mean, this is my hand compared to it. It's A3. It's just bigger than A3, the size.
Yeah.
And that is heavy. That I can carry it just about, but it's very heavy. And then I have I have two printers, a printer and a sublimation printer, just here on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then I have my vinyl cutter, which is the pink thing.
Yeah, I have to have a bit of pink in there.
Yeah. I'm not even a pinky person, but I wanted it because it was different. But yeah, they're my sort of main things, and then everything else is kind of stored around it or on it. Yeah. But I'm always moving it around as well. I'm never satisfied with my setup. Depends what I'm working on as well at the time.
Yeah. Vicky's correcting us. She doesn't have one of those cupboards. That would be what's on her wish list. It's okay. We're not going to come round to your house in the dead of night now, Vicky, and pinch it if you haven't got one. You know, we've let you off. So what do you think are your favourite materials to use? I guess vinyl with lots.
Yeah, vinyl is my favourite thing. But vinyl takes a lot longer to do than sublimation. But I like how there's so many options with vinyl, like with all the glitters and the metallics and stuff like that. Whereas with sublimation, you can do glitter effects, but not necessarily bright, sparkly glitter.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I just put it over the top once but yeah, so definitely vinyl.
Yeah, cool. And when you're not crafting and not running around after a 2 and a 3-year-old, what do you actually do with yourself?
Well, my time is literally children, business, or like just playing games on my phone just to chill out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily do anything in particular that's different or special, because like my business is my thing anyway, so it's not really like
Yeah.
a job. It's
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing it, so it's not a problem for me.
Wow. So let's do some quick fire questions, and then I might see if I can be really clever and see if we can invite one of our listeners on to the screen with us and see what happens. How do you feel about, well, it wouldn't be your fault if it goes wrong, it'd be mine. So let's do these quick ones first. So, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Netflix or audiobooks?
Netflix.
Okay. Neutrals or brights?
Brights.
Okay. Make for yourself or someone else?
Someone else.
Cool. So if anyone has got a question, or if they'd like to come on live and ask their question, do pop a note in the comments and we will have a go at seeing if we can get another person on. Just wait for it to catch up. Just wait for it to catch up, because it takes a few seconds for the questions to come through. So who's going to come on and ask a question, or just to see if it works? Everybody's gone really quiet now. Right, Vicki, you're going to come on live and ask your question. So I think if you click the link that I've just copied into the chat, you should be able to come on and join us, she says.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
Ooh. Getting the screen ready to add another one.
Yeah.
She says. So is she joining us? Rachel's having an early dinner. Come on, Vicki, copy that link into Chrome and press the button and come on screen with us. So I know Vicki, she's another one of our admins here. So I know if it goes wrong, it won't be my fault. And she's quite techie as well. So your little one is just being so good, isn't he?
He's actually dancing around the living room. Well, I don't really know what he's doing.
But he's not actually jumping on you, is he?
He's very independent.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Thomas, could you pass me those, please?
So, Vicki, Vicki or Jackie, are you coming on to join us?
These are the stands that the slates come with.
Yeah.
That he's just brought me, because he's like,
oh, see, he's even helping.
So they literally just sort of hook on there, and then wrong way.
Yeah.
Then you have your picture like this.
Oh, thanks for. Are you using Chrome? Are you using Chrome, Vicki? Nope. It's not playing nice. We may have to give that one up as a bad job. Let her just answer us to let us know what's happening. Maybe you can't add people as you go along. Maybe you have to all be on from the beginning.
I'm really not sure. I know on Facebook Live you can add people in, but
yeah, it's probably because I'm being tight and I've only got the free version of this, but it's, you can definitely have more than one person on.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe we'll try that another time. So thank you to everybody that's listened to us live. If you're watching us on replay, don't forget #replay, #sorry I missed you. On Thursday, we've got Laura from Cotswold Characters joining us. If you've not been on yet, or I haven't given you a date yet, do post a comment and let us know. Here she is.
I was going to say, do you want me to answer anyway? I can see her comments.
She's here. Wow, that is clever.
Taking a quick tea break.
Hello.
So,
Hi.
Off you go. You can ask your question yourself.
yeah, so I was just wondering, you sound like you have some amazing products, but which is your best seller, would you say?
I think it depends on the time of year. So obviously around Christmas time, those photo baubles were like my sellout.
Yeah.
But generally, I'd say clothing, t-shirts,
Right.
are one of my best sellers. And it's quite funny because I've only actually put them on my website when I relaunched a couple of weeks ago. But they were selling loads even before I'd even put them on my website, because obviously I talk about it and that I can do it. I just hadn't figured out a way that I could advertise it properly on my website yet.
I think people are getting really optimistic now that the summer's coming, we can go outside. People are starting to think, well, I've not treated myself for kind of 12 months, so I'm going to, you know, get some T-shirts for the family, and they're starting to prepare to escape and get outside, I think. So I can imagine they would.
And also other like small business owners want T-shirts with their logos on, because they're going out as well and doing like craft stalls or whatever, and they want to have their logo on their T-shirt or hoodie or whatever. So that's I've had a lot of that sort of business as well, which has been good, obviously. But also things like Best Big Brother for like new babies come in, and then the older sibling, they get a T-shirt and stuff like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I did that for my daughter. I mean, she's 18 now, but I remember when I was having my son, and I did exactly that. I got her a big sister T-shirt. So yeah. They're lovely.
Or of course you're getting T-shirt orders from people like me that have suddenly realised they're going to have to wear something that's not pyjamas.
That's
exactly it. They're like, oh, I have to go to work. Uniform, or oh, I've grown a little in lockdown, I need a new T-shirt. No, it's been great working with loads of people. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for popping on live, Vicki, and joining us and being my guinea pig.
Okay.
I know it works now, and we can do it. We can maybe do it again in the future with people coming on like this. Once we've finished, Holly is going to pop all her links in the comment. So if you want to go and join her, or follow her on Facebook, or look at her shop, etc., then all that will be there for you. So thanks once again for joining us, and everybody else, I will see you on Thursday. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.